You, yes, you, my friend. Are you working your ass off every single day, yet getting passed over for promotion time and time again? Do you write the best code that you can, yet just never get noticed? Do you feel you're making the biggest impact at your company, yet not seeing any fruits of it? Well, I know exactly how you feel, and you're in the right place. For context, I was promoted from a new grad engineer or a junior engineer to a senior engineer in just under a year and a half. And I was actually promoted over other engineers who had triple, if not quadruple, the amount of experience than what I had. So whatever I'm saying today comes straight from my experience and from the transformation that I achieved for myself from a new grad to a senior in under 2 years. So let's get started. Firstly, you're not focusing on things that you should. There's a big misconception that the more code that you write, the more heads down work that you do, the more you will get noticed at your company. That is absolute false. There's a lot of things that you need to do to be noticed and to make significant impact at your company. Coding, I would say, is a small part of it. There's another misconception that all software engineers need to do is just do head down coding work. Again, that's also false. Especially as a senior engineer, coding takes about maybe 30% of your time, not more. So what is it that you need to do to elevate your impact at your company? Think about it from this perspective. Let's say you're a chef at a Michelin star restaurant. You're absolutely great at what you do. You make great food, you plate it well, but you don't go outside and talk to your customers. Now let's say there's another chef on your team who is just more average. You're definitely a better cook than him, but he goes out, he talks to customers, he understands what they're liking, he sees what are the best selling dishes and doubles down on those. Who do you think is going to get promoted to head chef soon? You guessed it right, the second one. Because the second one understands what is working for the company, what the company really needs, and what the company's customers need. And that helps that other chef to double down on the things that will make him stand out. So let me reiterate this. Just doing head down coding work is not going to get you noticed. It won't. And especially as you climb up the ranks, the more head down coding work you do, the less and less you'll get noticed. So now again, what do we need to do to make yourself stand out more? This brings me to my second point, soft skills. It's like the first point, there's another misconception that engineers don't require good soft skills. You can have average, if not under average, speaking skills and writing skills because all we need to do is coding. Well, again, that's absolute bullshit, and don't trust that. The more initiatives that you take at the company, the more initiatives that you lead will require you to have really good communication skills and writing skills. And when I talk about writing skills, I don't mean writing those documents that no one reads. I'm talking about using design documents as a power tool that will help you elevate your impact. Like I said, this doc is not going to help you write those documents that go unnoticed. This document will help you in a wide variety of cases. So for example, number one, writing design doc or design decisions for some projects that you're leading. Number two, using this as a summary document or an action-taking document for some important meeting that you had with your team or with the multiple teams. Number three, a summary doc to consolidate different perspectives, opinions, all the discussions that were going on in a meeting, in a Slack thread, and all of that stuff. You can use this design doc template for all of those tasks. And when you double down on these, I kid you not, everyone will start noticing you and treating you like the leader you are. And you might be thinking, what nonsense is this guy talking about? I want to code more. I don't want to talk and write design docs. Well, my friend, if you don't, you're going to be stuck in the position for God knows how long. Now, writing skills is one part of your soft skills. The other part is your speaking skills. Most junior intermediate engineers, what they do wrong is that they just remain silent throughout their entire meetings. They remain silent on Slack discussions, they remain silent during meetings. They don't speak up. If you don't speak up, the other people are not going to know of your existence and of your knowledge. So take the initiative, speak up more, and if you don't have anything to add to the discussion, this hack is going to change everything. By the end of the meeting, compile a one-pager document and just consolidate and summarize everything that was discussed in the meeting, who talked about what was presented, what was discussed, what were the pros and cons, all of that stuff. And you can utilize Gemini, which is Google Meet's AI agent, which already compiles notes for you, and build on top of that and structure the document correctly, which is not only going to help you stand out, but also gonna make others think of you as a leader and an action taker. That, my friend, is what's going to get you noticed. Not just head down coding work, especially not when you don't speak up or don't take any of these initiatives. So trust me when I say start working on your soft skills, both speaking and writing, today. They are going to change the trajectory of your career. A lot of the engineers watching this would be thinking that, but Ninad, I cannot speak fluently and eloquently. If I do speak up in the meetings, I'll speak up in a very broken manner, which will make other engineers think that I am not confident or I don't know what I'm talking about. I know exactly how you feel. I have grown up as a really introverted and shy person, and I was suffering from this exact same thing for the last 2+ years of my career as well. So even when I got promoted within a year and a half, my speaking skills were not at the top. They're pretty, I would say pretty under average. But now, in the last 3 months, I actually started a YouTube channel, and because of speaking to the camera on a pretty frequent basis, it's helping me bring out the confidence and really helping me work with my fluency and eloquency. And this in turn has actually really benefited my work meetings, because even when I'm on Zoom or Google Meets or something, I can now talk like I'm talking in front of the camera. So now I use much less filler words, I don't stutter as much, I talk a lot more confidently, and I can make my points as an authority because that's what I've learned from just talking to the camera. So if you're someone who's struggling to work on their speaking skills, then this is something I would highly recommend. Just talk to the camera and do it for maybe, let's say, 10-15 days and see the improvements that you will. Trust me, it's gonna improve your confidence quite a bit. Now, this brings me to my third point. You're not getting enough visibility. This ties into the first 2 points that I make. The first one being you're not focusing on the right things, and the second one being you're not making the best use of your soft skills. This ties into this third point. If you start making the changes that I talked about in point 1 and 2, trust me when I say this, your visibility will slowly start creeping up more and more and more. More people will start seeing that you take initiative, you know what you're doing. You might not be the smartest engineer out there, but you take those actions that help your team grow. You take those actions that other engineers are not willing to do. You do those things which other engineers just hate doing. So when more complex projects come across, tell me who the higher-ups are going to reach out to, because they know that you are the one willing to put in the effort that no one else is. And now, do you think your visibility will start going up? You bet it will. So tying from point 2, like I said, start summarizing meeting notes. One more thing you can do is start summarizing Slack discussions. And you might be thinking again, like, what nonsense is this guy talking about? But hear me out. Let's say you have a really long Slack thread with 100+ messages in it. Everyone's talking about different things, and the information is just scattered all over the place. So now for other people who want context on the thread, just going through all the 100 messages in the thread is going to be an absolute waste of time. And I can guarantee you, by the end of it, when they reach the end of the thread, they're not going to remember what they went through in the previous 100 messages. So now what can you do to stand out? Summarize the thread. Yes, you heard me right. Summarize it. And what I mean by that is exactly similar to how I talked about in the meeting notes. Do this for the Slack threads. Lay out all the different perspectives that were discussed in the Slack thread in a summarized and concise manner. What this is going to do is, for everyone else who needs context in the thread, they can just refer to your document and they would understand what exactly was discussed in the thread, because now all you're doing is written a one-pager document, everything summarized and in a structured and clean format. This makes future discussions easier because now people can follow a more structured discussion pattern on the thread, on the doc itself. So now once you start doing this, people will start taking notice of it. And previously, when you were not being invited to meetings, you'll start being invited to them. You will be invited to more important meetings because now the higher ups are seeing that, okay, this guy is doing all of these things that are really helpful for everyone else. So let's just invite him to the big table. I can personally vouch for this. This is exactly what happened to me. Previously, all meetings I used to be in these the small sub-team wide meetings, not big project meetings. But now once I slowly started making these changes, started taking these actions, I started being invited to more higher up meetings. And now that I literally sit at the table in meetings with the CTO and VPs in the company. Yes, you heard that right. And I'm not joking. So I know what I'm talking about. Like I said, whatever I'm talking about today is based solely from my experience and from the transformation that I've made for myself from point zero to point hero. And I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. I'm far, far from it. But I have made my fair share of mistakes. I've learned from them. And I have grown and evolved to mold myself into a more senior engineer mindset. And now I want to help all of you do it as well. So to give an analogy of all of the things we discussed, think you're a top-level musician. You are absolutely fantastic at what you do. You know all the chords, you can play these really complex songs, but you just cannot perform on the stage, you're afraid. And now on the other hand, there's an average musician who can play maybe average music, but he has an absolutely great stage presence. He talks about the music, he talks behind the inspiration for his music. He gets invited to big producer meetings because of this. He attracts a big fan base because of this. So what's the difference? The difference is all the things that I mentioned today. I mean, sure, musicians don't write design docs and all, but to emulate this, a software engineer needs to do these things. So hey, do you want to be an absolutely talented musician who never gets noticed? Or do you want to be a good musician but gets noticed far and wide? Tell me in the comments below. Okay, to summarize, we talked about 3 things today. First one, you're not focusing on the things that actually matter. Number 2, you need to work on your soft skills and stop ignoring them because, trust me, they're really important. And number 3, you're not getting enough visibility because, like I mentioned in point 1 and 2, you're not focusing on the right things and your soft skills suck. So trust me when I say this, focus on these 3 things and you'll see your career change. Anyways, I'm here to help you and I'm rooting for you.